Welcome, friends, to
Sure.
Curiosity Chill.
Yeah, let's learn.
Let's
I
learn.
want to learn. I'm going to learn a thing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to today. We are studying space travel and planets based off the poll at the end of last stream. And at the end of this stream, we'll take another poll and see if mythology can hold the day.
Yes.
We've got a bunch of recommendations from you all, and mythology was less than 1 point away, I think, Greek mythology, which there's some connections. So today we'll talk about maybe a little bit of Greek mythology sprinkled in with our space travel and planets as we talk about constellations if they come up. What's up, Bloody Cheyenne? How you doing? And Leslie Red Rhodey.
Hey, thank you so much for the gift sub group.
Thanks a
hug,
lot.
Leslie.
Appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
The first thing I said to Amelia this morning was intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Nice. We got to wake up our speech because we're about to read some big words, I think, friends. So if you're at home and you want to mutter to yourself, intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic, you know how it is. Ooh, and I see some of you are hyped for Mass Effect. Yeah, speaking of space, we are going to space on Sunday. We're beginning our new Sunday game, which is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We're going to start with the first game because that's a very good place to start. On Saturdays, we're playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And our next game, based off all of your awesome recommendations, is It Takes Two, which is a fun co-op game that Amelia and I can play together at the same time. Because we're friends.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Also, Charlie the astronaut, thank you so much for those gift subs and welcoming in our new friends.
Nice. Charlie the astronaut. I feel like this is going to be a stream right up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
So today we've got a link from nationalgeographic.org. Our moderators have the link and can share it with you in the chat. And we are going to study the history of space exploration and planets.
Excellent.
And
Other things.
other things. Amelia and I were looking through this though. We're like, oh, there's different like reading level options. So we chose for ourselves 7th grade because Amelia and I really enjoyed the 7th grade. And I was chatting with the mods before the stream, and I'm curious, what was your favorite grade or level or whatever you say in your country for school? Let's say like elementary school.
Yeah, I loved that elementary school.
Where you get to learn like don't eat glue and don't hit your friends. And then you have, I guess, middle school.
Middle school.
Middle school in the States is like 5th and 6th grade, right?
Maybe even for me, it was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade was middle school, but for other people, it might be 5th grade. Or...
Okay, yeah, where I grew up, it was 5th and 6th was one school, and 7th and 8th was one school. And then you've got high school.
Yeah.
And then beyond high school, college. Let me know, what was your favorite kind of schooling? Number 1 in the chat for elementary school, number 2 in the chat for middle school, number 3 in the chat for high school, or number 4 in the chat for college or university.
You know,
Whatever you say.
I personally, I know it might, obviously, I'm not in the majority, but I liked my middle school.
Me too. I think 7th grade, 8th grade was kind of like my favorite time because we basically were learning, like in 7th and 8th grade, you start to learn all the cool things, in my opinion, but you don't get like too deep into it. You go like, a long time ago, there was an ice age and there were mastodons, and you're like, oh fuck yeah. And then you get to high school and they're like, now we're going to try to figure out how to carbon date the mastodon's bones and you have to use math. And I'm like, no. I just want to know that there were mastodons.
Yeah. I also think that, what school you went to and who was in your classes make a big difference. Because I know I really liked my middle school crew.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You got your first kiss in middle school?
Aww,
me too.
So wholesome. Not me. I got my first kiss yesterday. All right. Well, it looks like it's a tie between elementary school and college. Look at that. At 28%. Love to see it.
All right.
So let's jump in. Last week on our Curiosity Chill, we studied autism and the autistic spectrum, and we learned some things that actually will help our streams improve. We are going to try today's stream without any background music and with a still image behind instead of that time-lapse thing. So let me know what you think of that, guys, because I think it could be a good improvement. It's going to be easier to read for sure.
For sure.
You want to start us off?
Yes.
All right. This website is nationalgeographic.org on their history of space exploration.
The history of space exploration. During the time that has passed since the launching of the first artificial satellite in 1957, astronauts have traveled to the moon, probes have explored the solar system, and instruments in space have discovered thousands of planets around other stars.
In space. So the subjects we're looking into today are Earth science, which was one of my favorite because they're like, hey, check out these like little caterpillars. They're going to turn into butterflies. Just you wait, Henry Higgins. Astronomy, which is decidedly different than astrology, which we've also done a Curiosity Chill stream on. Social studies, U.S. history, and world history are the subjects we're covering today. Oh, look at my homeboys. Anybody know who these are? Can anybody recognize these two astronauts in this famous photograph? And where do you think they are? Does anybody know where they are? You know it. Do you know?
Well, yeah.
Where are they? Where are they?
The moon.
The moon. They're on the moon.
Neil Armstrong, yes.
Here we are, the Apollo 11 astronauts on the moon. A less belligerent, but no less competitive part of the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States was the space race. The Soviet Union bested its rival at nearly every turn until the United States beat them to the finish line by landing astronauts on the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin completed that mission in 1969.
Wow.
You got it. There you go. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
Very cool.
So we're going with a 7th grade level today. We thought that would be a good mix.
Yeah, nice split. Humans have been venturing into space for over 60 years. The era of space travel officially began October 4th, 1957, when the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, or the Soviet Union, launched Sputnik. Sputnik. It was the first human-made satellite launched into orbit Earth.
The launch happened during the period of political hostility between the USSR and the United States, known as the Cold War. For several years, these two superpowers competed to develop missiles called intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs. These missiles were designed to carry nuclear weapons between continents. In the USSR, the rocket designer Sergei Korolev developed the first ICBM, a rocket called the R-7. This began the space race.
The competition reached its height with the launch of Sputnik. Carried on top of an R-7 rocket, the Sputnik satellite sent out beeps from a radio transmitter. Sputnik orbited Earth once every 96 minutes. Its radio beeps could be detected on the ground as the satellite passed overhead, so people around the world knew Sputnik was really in orbit.
All right, I want to share with you guys a picture of Sputnik because this here is, I don't know if it's what I anticipated the first satellite looked like, but look at this.
Wow.
Look at Sputnik.
It looks like an underwater sea creature, kind of.
It does. And the similarities between deep space and deep in the ocean, that's not Sputnik. Well, it seems like we're starting to...
we're getting into vaccines.
Yeah. Womp, womp. Here we go. That's a pretty cool looking guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a friend, but he also looks like the interrogation probe from the Death Star.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like... Yeah. NASA is born. The United States realized that the USSR had capabilities that exceeded U.S. technologies. Officials worried that these technologies would put Americans in danger. A month after Sputnik's launch, on November 3rd, 1957, the USSR achieved an even more impressive accomplishment. This was Sputnik 2, a satellite that carried the first living creature into space. The passenger was a dog named Laika.
Oh, so cool.
Well, it's so cool until you think about it a little longer. Because the thing about...
Laika will never make it back.
Laika never did. Laika went up and Laika did not come back down. I don't believe. This is Sputnik 2 with its first space traveler. So,
Oh, honey bear.
how many of you knew that we would be studying space travel and that the first space traveler was in fact a dog?
Wow.
There's Laika. Yeah, pretty incredible, huh? Wow. Wow.
Honey.
Yep.
Aw.
Yep. Before the launch of Sputnik, the United States made 2 failed attempts to launch a satellite into space. Then, on January 31st, 1958, the United States successfully launched its first satellite, the Explorer. Explorer rode into space on top of a powerful rocket called Jupiter-C, which was designed by rocket engineer Werner von Braun. The satellite carried several instruments for conducting space experiments, or science experiments in space, called space experiments. They included a Geiger counter for detecting cosmic rays. These high-energy rays rain down on our solar system from space.
In 1958, the supervision of space exploration activities in the United States was assembled under a new government agency called the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. NASA! Also, I want to say, oh me, welcome back for 28 months.
Oh me, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, let's add a wrinkle to our brains, friends. I like that. And Dylan Meredith, thank you for being here for 31 months. Appreciate your support, friend. Ever since the beginning of our streams, you guys. We've it's almost the 3rd year anniversary of Detroit Become Human. The game was released on May 25th, and you guys should know because you're the Tuesday Cruise-gy.
Okay.
I don't know, guys.
You're the Tuesday Cruise-gy. That's what you are.
I've never been cool. You're the Tuesday Cruise-gy. Okay, write that down. And we're going to be doing on Tuesday, not next week, but the week after, May 25th, is when Detroit Become Human celebrates its anniversary. And that is going to be huge. We're going to start at the same time as our Curiosity Chill, which is 10 a.m. Pacific time, or maybe 20 minutes earlier ski than it is right now. And we're going to stream the entire day, the entire game in one go, and we've got some gigantic prizes.
Yes.
I'm really, really excited about it.
Tuesday Cruise-gy.
The Tuesday Cruise-gy. We got the Notification Squad, and we got the Tuesday Cruise-gy.
The Soviets have many firsts in space. Soviet successes in space continued. The first human in space was Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who made one orbit around Earth on April 12, 1961.
Whoa.
This flight lasted 108 minutes. About 3 weeks later, NASA launched astronaut Alan Shepard into space on a suborbital flight. This flight went into space but did not fully orbit the planet. Shepard's flight lasted about 15 minutes. 3 weeks later, President John F. Kennedy challenged the United States, declaring,
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before the decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth.
Thanks, Bryan.
That's not a bad Kennedy impression, huh?
That's pretty good.
The Soviet Union achieved several space goals ahead of the United States. In addition to launching the first satellite, the first dog, the first human into space, in 1959, the Soviets launched the first human-made object to hit the moon, Luna 2. Less than 4 months after Gagarin's 108-minute flight, a Soviet mission orbited a cosmonaut around the Earth for an entire day. The USSR achieved the first spacewalk, in which a human first took steps outside a spacecraft in outer space in 1965.
Whoa.
The Soviet Union also sent the first woman to space.
Yeah.
All right, I want to see what Luna 2 looks like because that's interesting. So they shot something up and hit the moon, but nobody popped out. Here we go. Ooh, hold on. Let's see. It's also showing us a cleansing brush by the same name, which I think we have something similar to this.
Yes.
But guys, not the cleansing brush, okay? Look, this is science, okay? This is Luna too. Oh. Looks a lot like Sputnik.
Yeah. Do you want to read about it?
Someone was like, I tell you what if we take Sputnik and we rotate it 90 degrees? Take a different picture and call it Luna 2. Luna 2 was the second of a series of spacecraft launched in the direction of the moon. The first spacecraft to land on the moon, it impacted the lunar surface of the Mare Serenitatis near the Aristates Archimedes. Wow. Okay, these are craters, and that font is way too small to continue.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, I can't believe you're reading that.
On we go, back to work.
That was impressive.
Look at this nice grandma font. This is what I like.
This is what we need, yes. The U.S. space program takes flight. During the 1960s, NASA made progress towards President Kennedy's goal of landing a human on the moon. They did this with a program called Project Gemini. In this program, astronauts tested technology needed for future flights to the moon and their own ability to spend days in spaceflight. Project Gemini was followed by Project Apollo, which took astronauts into orbit around the moon and to the moon's surface between 1968 and 1972.
Hey, Sakura Artsy, welcome back for 33 months in a row. Thank you for chilling with us and some cool space facts. We appreciate your support. Can we get a little mod love, a little Lieutenant love? Thank you for your help on Discord and on and on Twitch. We've got Zen Galaxy and Jerry Planet, our 2 subscriber chats today on our Discord. Thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate you. And Tommy Doe, thank you for subscribing with your Prime. If you guys have Amazon Prime, you can link it to Twitch for a free subscription with the panel below the video. It says Prime on it. All right. B Anonymous 18 is back for 8 months. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support. And Nikiro Zero, thank you for being here with your Prime as well. Saying, Amelia and Bryan, thank you for being your awesome selves and raising my serotonin levels. Yes, everyone, serotonin levels up. up.
And I'm Providence, thank you for your good vibes. Scientist 72.
In 1969, on Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong became the first human to set foot on the moon's surface. NASA had met President Kennedy's challenge and would eventually land on a total of 6 missions on the moon.
During these landed missions, astronauts collected samples of rocks and dust that scientists still study today. During the 1960s and the 1970s, NASA also launched a series of space probes called Mariner. Mariner, which studied the Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Probes are robotic spacecraft that fly without pilots on board.
Space stations marked the next phase of space exploration. The first space station in Earth orbit was Soviet Salyut 1 station, which was launched in 1971, so only 2 years after we landed on the moon. This was followed by NASA's Skylab space station. This was the first orbital laboratory in which astronauts and scientists studied Earth and the effects of spaceflight on the human body. During the 1970s, NASA also carried out Project Viking, in which 2 probes landed on Mars, took photographs, examined the chemistry of Mars' surface, and tested the dirt for microorganisms by putting it in their mouth. No, that's not what they did. That's a bad way to test things, you guys. You all know that.
Hey, Vices and Discos, thank you for the gift sub to NiK985 and Nina X02. Welcome back for 13 months.
Yo, we appreciate you being here. Thank you kindly for your support.
And Ashley Rose, welcome back for 4 months.
Yo. And Art Earn, thank you very much for being here for 3 months as well. I see here that meanwhile, instruments such as the Kepler space...
Wait. No, I take this next one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Okay.
Bye.
New technology is taking up space. The Apollo moon program ended in 1972. Since then, space exploration has consisted largely of countries participating in research on the International Space Station. However, probes continue to travel throughout our solar system. In recent years, probes have made many discoveries. They have discovered oceans underneath the surface of the ice moon of Jupiter and a moon of Saturn. Scientists think these oceans may contain life.
I really hope they do. Meanwhile, instruments such as the Kepler Space Telescope, let's look at that. The Kepler Space Telescope is pretty cool too. Let's check this. Bop, 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 bop. I have to make these sounds during silence, otherwise I get nervous that the whole world might fall apart. Ooh. Look at this space telescope, you guys.
Whoa, look at that. Click this one, please.
Look at that horse.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. This is like so cool looking to me.
Where did you go? Oh, there. Oh, we can watch it.
Watch it.
For thousands of years, mankind has wondered.
Oh, hold on. I don't have you guys. I'm not gonna.
Maybe we don't. We just don't.
We just listen.
We don't listen. We just.
All right, we're not gonna listen. We're just gonna.
We're just gonna observe. Maybe turn off. There we go.
Oh my dude! Look at William.
He looks real cool.
How you been, William?
Hey.
He's principal investigator. All right.
Whoa.
Kaboom goes up. I want to see what he knows. Oh my gosh! I feel like we should watch a little bit of this. Okay. Star Wars: A New Hope. We love it. Okay, here. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I want to give you guys desktop audio so you can hear what we hear, and then I got to mute our mic while we listen in, otherwise it'll get echoey. Or here we go.
Let's start from the beginning.
You guys want to go from the beginning? Let's do it. We're taking a field trip. We're in the middle of the stream. We can take a field trip.
For thousands of years, mankind has wondered, are there planets around other stars? Is there life out there?
Yes, I hope there is.
We didn't know if there were any planets around the stars.
Zero and liftoff of the Delta II rocket with Kepler on a search for planets in some way like our own.
Before the launch of Kepler, most of the planets we knew about were really big planets like Jupiter. But
Love
Kepler
Jupiter,
was so
one of my
sensitive
favorites.
that we started finding smaller and smaller planets.
We discovered planets smaller than had ever been discovered before, and just many of them, indicating that the galaxy's full of planets. Crazy worlds that we didn't predict, things that we hadn't imagined. We find planets orbiting so close to their parent star that the star-facing side has temperatures in excess of that required to melt iron. These planets have an entire hemisphere that's like a liquid ocean, but it's not an ocean of water. It's an ocean of molten rock.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, let's go bathing.
Planets that are orbiting not one, but two stars. That is, if you look in the east, you'd see not one star rise, but two.
Almost all the astronomers that I know grew up reading science fiction. That's why a lot of them got into the business of looking for planets in the first place, to find out if any of this, fantastic speculation that inspired us could be true. And
Thank
now
you,
we
Star
find
Wars.
out that, yeah, it could be true.
We learned from Kepler that the most common types of planets in the galaxy are unlike the planets in our own solar system. These worlds are intermediate in size between the Earth and Neptune, but we're not exactly sure what they're made out of.
What are the things that we know now that we didn't know then? I mean, things like planets are ubiquitous. Planets are diverse. The stars that we find planets around are diverse. The systems that planets live in vary widely.
It was breathtaking to see all of the planets come rolling in from this exquisite data over the years that we were collecting data with Kepler. In the end, we found dozens of small, potentially rocky worlds orbiting in the Goldilocks zone of their stars, that distance at which you can have liquid water pooling on the surface of the planet, capable of supporting life as we know it.
Oh, that's us, team.
The
That's
science
us.
value of the collected data spans almost every field of astronomy and planetary science. It revolutionized not just exoplanets, not just stars, but a large number of the scientific fields of astronomy today.
There's one summer I worked in an observatory, and I would go outside at night and look up at the stars and just be blown away at how vast space was. And it actually felt a little lonely. And when I go out and look at the night sky now, rather than being awestruck by the vastness, I'm awestruck by the possibility.
There aren't that many opportunities in life where you get to participate in a project as important as Kepler is, that answers such a fundamental question that we've been asking ourselves for so long. Now we know when we look up into the night sky that every star we see has on average at least one planet, and that many of those planets are similar in size to the Earth and a chance for life as we know it elsewhere.
Searching for life elsewhere is one of the key themes that drive our science portfolio, and at the center of that is Kepler. New missions, like the Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite TESS and the James Webb Space Telescope, will build on Kepler's success
Solar
and take
sails.
our search for life to new heights.
It has been extremely gratifying to see the data come back from the mission and show what we wanted to know, give us the answer. Many stars have planets. A lot of these planets are Earth-sized. That's Kepler's legacy, this new knowledge that we have about planets around other stars.
Oh my gosh, I have chills.
So cool.
Okay, so many other Earth-size, possibly habitable planets have been found with this telescope,
Yes.
which was launched. Oh my gosh, okay, so 1972. That means that it's been almost 50 years, 49 years, this telescope has been going deeper and deeper into space, taking photos and sending them back to Earth. So it's really incredible to me about space travel and learning about other planets is that it's like an intergenerational thing. You know, like you have to launch something out into space so that your great-great-grandchild can do something with the information. I mean, to me, that is like the coolest thing. It's really, really, I'm like,
Mind blown.
yeah, I'm like mind blown. Like my heart is beating really fast right now. Wow. Meanwhile, instruments such as the Kepler Space Telescope discovered thousands of exoplanets. These planets outside our solar system that orbit other stars. Advances in technology allow these instruments to collect and record new information about the atmospheres of some of these exoplanets.
Nice.
So while we're on the subject of going to other planets directly, where would you want to go in our solar system? Which planet would you travel to if you had a safe way there and back?
Okay,
all right?
a safe way there and back.
A safe way there and back. You don't have to go up,
Okay.
like the dog. Or Laika. Laika's probably just on their way to Pluto. Number 1 in the chat for Mercury, Venus. Number 3, if you'd like to just stay put on Earth, please. You'll notice I think I got these in order, right? 5 is Saturn, beyond Mars. 6, Jupiter. Uranus, everybody. 8 is Neptune. 9 is Pluto, the dwarf planet. And there are other dwarf planets like Pluto, but back when I was a kid, Pluto was the real planet in the whole big thing.
I think I would choose the moon.
Yeah, you want to go to the
honestly.
moon?
Yeah. If I could, get there and get back again safely, the moon.
Because you want to hang out and look back at Earth?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems the moon does sort of seem like the most peaceful option and a little less intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
On Providence, thank you for the donation. And a UK fangirl Jade says, recommends The Right Stuff on Disney Plus. It's the journey of the Mercury 7 astronauts in the 1950s.
Ooh,
we should
good
definitely check
recommendation.
that out. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, team.
Panda Woman 007, welcome back for 7 months.
Oh, and Zikachu, thank you very much for being here for 4 months.
And Guinea Bees, thanks for being here 18 months with a pro tip from an astronomy nerd. Rho Ophiuchus is the most colorful patch of the sky.
I love to hear
I
it.
don't know what that is. Rho Ophiuchus.
Yeah, another fun fact based off our Australian friends being here with us is that the night sky and the constellations are totally different at different times of the year based off what hemisphere you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking up at the night sky in California and you're looking up at the night sky in Thailand, you're looking at a completely different part of the sky.
Yeah, that's cool.
Facing a different direction. Junior man.
Junior man.
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand.
Thank you so much for the gift sub group hug.
Yo, appreciate you.
If you got one of those gift subs from Junior Man, please give them a thank you. And you can check out our starter kit and learn your way around Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah.
Saturn wins the poll. Must be those beautiful rings they go around Saturn that allure so many of you to see what's going on. Also, Jupiter has a couple of moons, which are really appealing as potential Earth-like habitable zones. Sweet. On we go.
So there's other things here we could look at.
All right. We got space.
Which basically leads us to a bunch of other things. And then there's a article about women of NASA.
Let's do it.
And then there's another one also to the side, if it's kind of like a carousel-y thing. Yeah, there we go. Space probes. We can learn about probes. Yeah, where do you want to go next? This will take us to space. Will take us to like other space things.
Of course.
Women of NASA will take us to women of NASA. Space probes will take us to space probes.
All right, let's dive in. One in the chat for women in space. Women in space. Or number 2 for space probes. Let me know where we're going. And True Hope Faith, welcome back for 36 months. That's 3 years of hype. That means a conversation with Cameron about updating our 3-year subscriber badge.
Also, Puppet Cur is back for 36 months as well.
Oh, Puppet Cur, how's it going? Appreciate you,
yes,
my
we
friend.
Do.
Thank you for being here for 3 whole years. Puppet Cur, Puppet Cur, Puppet Cur, Puppet Cur.
All right, that's pretty
Let's do
clear.
it. I mean, I would say, I don't know.
That's
Space probes is gaining. All right, let's go.
81.2%.
Let's learn about women in space. View article. Women of NASA.
NASA is working actively to break down the barriers for women to work within the agency in both science and engineering.
All right, I'm going to share this link with the moderators real quick so they can share it with you. There we go. And down. Who's this?
This is Mary Jackson at NASA. In NASA's early days, African American women computers played a vital role in advancing its missions. In 1962, they helped send the first American astronaut into orbit. Whoa.
That's John Glenn. Among them were Mary Jackson, who's pictured to the right, in 1980, Katherine Johnson, and Dorothy Vaughan.
Vaughn.
I'm saying Vaughan.
Okay.
Because there's an A there.
Okay, Vaughn.
But I'm not a scientist.
Even before the space age launched in October 4th, 1957, when the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic, the USSR, orbited Sputnik, the first artificial satellite to the first artificial satellite to orbit Earth, women have worked in the United States space effort and often as integral members behind the scenes. In the years following the formation of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, in 1958, however, women were excluded from the astronaut corps and other highly visible key positions.
During the early days of the space program, women served as human computers. The term computer referred to a job title for someone who performed highly complex mathematical calculations, not the machines that did them. These were people who processed data for aviation experiments and eventually spaceflight, and they carried out these calculations completely by hand.
Whoa!
Located at the Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, all of NASA's computers were women, and many of them were African American.
Wow. The African American women computers played a vital role in advancing NASA projects, a story popularized by the movie Hidden Figures, based on the book of the same name by Margot Lee Shetterly. Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Dorothy Vaughan were especially prominent computers. Their work helped one of the first American astronauts, John Glenn, orbit Earth in 1962 and ensured the safety of the mission.
Once NASA acquired electronic computers from IBM, computer programming became women's work. The men distrusted computers and believed their own human calculations were superior, which ended up giving women early experience in the new skill of computer programming.
Interesting. The first human being in space was a man, the Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who made one orbit around Earth on April 12, 1961, on a flight that lasted 108 minutes. A little more than 3 weeks later, NASA launched its first astronaut, a man named Alan Shepard, on a suborbital spaceflight. Shepard's suborbital flight lasted just over 15 minutes. 3 weeks later, on May 25th, President John F. Kennedy challenged the United States to an ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon with the following declaration. Do you want to do your thing again?
Actually, let's let him do it.
Okay.
You guys want? Let's listen to the man himself. We have the technology.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Boning, welcome back for 2 months. And Bloody Cheyenne, thank you for cheering. Give Me Cookies is back for 10 months. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Blue Ray, thank you so much for subscribing. I like your username. Virtual Reality's given a gift sub to Turstar Boy. Lindsay the Fox is back for 16 months. And Kalava518, thank you so much for subscribing and hanging out with the Cruisy.
With the Tuesday
Cruisy.
All right, let's check it out. This is JFK sending us to the moon.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. Progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body and then return it safely to Earth. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Wow. Cool. That was really cool. Okay. Well, that's what he said.
He's such a great speaker.
Mm-hmm. During the early 1960s, while NASA was training and flying the 7 astronaut men of Project Mercury, 13 American women, the First Lady astronaut trainees, or the Mercury 13, were also going through rigorous astronaut training. However, because Congress decided that it was more appropriate for NASA to stick to their men's-only program, the women were not officially part of NASA, and they would never be afforded the opportunity to fly in space.
In 1963, the Soviet Union again pulled ahead of NASA by making the extraordinary move of sending the first woman to space. This was Valentina Tereshkova. Valentina Tereshkova, who orbited Earth on Soviet's Vostok 6 mission in 1963. It was not until 20 years later that NASA sent the first American woman into space. This was Sally Ride, who flew into space on the Space Shuttle Challenger on June 18, 1983. This was a year after the USSR had sent a second female cosmonaut into space, Svetlana Savinskaya. Later, in 1999, NASA astronaut Eileen Collins became the first woman to command a space shuttle mission. Since Sally Ride's first mission, at least 50 women have flown on NASA's space missions as of 2018.
Nice. In September of 2018, NASA named Holly Ridings as its first female flight director in mission control. Currently, NASA is working actively to break down the barriers for women to work within the agency in science and engineering. And here is a picture of, in NASA's early days, of African American women computers who played a vital role in advancing its mission. In 1962, they helped send America's first astronaut into orbit, John Glenn. This is Mary Jackson. Nice.
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 Cool article.
Yeah, Fire Crystal, thank you so much for the gift subs. Appreciate you. Maybe we can see, is there another picture?
I think it's a slideshow. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah.
And down we go. Looks like there's just one more photo.
Maybe click
we
that
want
little,
more.
Yeah.
More photographs.
Oh, maybe not.
We want... Oh, it's a video. The other thing's a video.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Well, the mods can share the link with you one more time if you want to grab it. And when I found if anybody's curious in the JFK moon speech, I literally just typed in JFK moon speech. So I'll drop that link in the chat one more time. But I think it's time for a pop quiz.
Pop quiz. Tell us one thing that you learned today during our Curiosity Chill about space travel.
Yeah, that's how we do a pop quiz around here. All we ask is that you learned one thing. Type that space is cool. It totally is. What's up, Joker?
And Miss Star 1998, thanks for being here for 2 months.
Yeah.
That women in NASA are awesome. Yes, I didn't know that a dog was the first living being to go up to space and that they were sent by the Soviets.
Yeah, well, I actually don't know that Laika was the first animal. I'm seeing, because I'm thinking about the monkey. That we sent a monkey. The U.S. sent a monkey.
But it must have been
space.
after. Because the Soviets were the first.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first animal in orbital spaceflight around the Earth was the dog Laika aboard the spacecraft Sputnik 2 in 1957.
Yes. Most computers were African American women. Yeah, that's really cool. And that the Soviet Union put the first woman in space.
They did.
Mm-hmm. You knew a lot of it already. That's good.
That's very cool.
Men distrusted computers, so the woman took over that work and got an edge. That's cool. Aileen Collins was the first woman to command a space shuttle.
Wow. Can you imagine that kind of responsibility? Like, being the captain of a ship is one thing, but being the captain of a space shuttle?
Yeah.
I mean, whoa. Well, the commander. Computers were extremely big back in the day. Yeah, IBM provided the first computers for NASA.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we have another thing we got to ask you, team.
Yes.
And that's, what are we going to study next week on Curiosity Chill?
Yeah, what shall we study next week? We're definitely going to put on the poll Greek mythology, because that was pretty high on our poll last week.
Yep.
So what else might you be interested in learning about? We do this by poll, and then we choose what to come next. Volcanoes?
Oh, volcanoes, yes. Volcanoes.
Oh, a lot of love for volcanoes. The human brain? That could be interesting.
The human brain. All right, give me one more. Frogs? Happy Froggy, of course. Frogs make the day. Let's go with these 4, because we know there's a lot of hype for one. Greek mythology was only 1 point away from being today's stream, so let's check it out. Type a 1 into the chat if you want to study Greek mythology. Number 2 if you want to study volcanoes. Number 3, the human brain. And number 4, ribbit. Frogs.
What are you curious about?
Yeah, what are you curious about? We're going to follow your lead, and we'll be studying that on next Tuesday. And the Tuesday that follows is Detroit Become Human's 3-year anniversary of its release. So we're going to be doing a super special Tuesday Screwskis stream with everybody who's here with us. We're going to be streaming like all day on May 25th. We hope you can join us. We got a bunch of awesome prizes and some really cool stuff planned, so we hope you can join us for that. Greek mythology, I had a feeling it was just, it's hard to compete. It's hard to compete with space travel and Greek mythology, but we're going to keep pulling those other ones, and volcanoes will have its day, I'm sure of it.
I'm sure, yes.
All right. Cool.